So hey, it's well, I don't want to really say my name here. This is probably the biggest confession or more honesty I've ever had in my life that I've actually talked about, and I really need help. This fat girl ascension has turned into something so much deeper. I'm going through moments of extreme happiness and extreme sadness, and the mental health community has judged me for it. It started after I gave birth to my daughter, but I feel it's because I feel the magic I've never felt in the world before. Anyway, I'm getting off topic because there's so much I know and so much I want to say, and because this is very private, I'm not putting it on my Facebook page to be judged. I want someone to help me to prove that my psychosis is real or not real. My daughter was taken away from me from mental health. Before that, I worked for my city. I was never in what they call psychosis before, and never again. But I experienced things I truly, after they said my psychosis, I started learning about quantum physics, electricity, things like that, because for 2 years I've been going through things, and I've watched very closely details around me that maybe others don't pay attention to truly find out if I'm crazy or if something's going on. And I'm beginning to feel like this is fate. This was all predetermined for me. My destiny was already set out. Maybe I was supposed to be something really important, and they've put me in this jail cell since birth that I can't get out of. Anyway, 2 years ago, I started feeling shocks around metal. I started feeling, after my daughter's birth, I started feeling a shock, like literally shocks, and finally I started looking around me to see if something was causing these shocks by some stimuli, and I noticed it was random pieces of metal or people's their walker, their wheelchair, and I thought it was them, and it did start freaking me out. I thought it was them, but I don't think it was them. I think it's some special metal. I don't know, because I can feel it. I can feel it, and I only know what I know as a human, and I started being afraid of water. I started being very afraid to take a bath and to drink water. And the less I drank water, I was afraid of electricity, because I felt literally like electric, like electricity is running through me. My hands would literally shake. It would make my eyes really pop out of my head. I could hear this really high frequency, and I felt like something, I don't know, was in me. They were shocking something in me. Maybe they put something in me after my birth, to test on me something. I felt like a static. I did look it up, and it said EMF, but I felt a static electricity is the best way I could say it. My hair would stand up, like I was touching one of those magic balls when you were a kid, right? My hair would stand on end, and when I felt a shock, and they just said I was crazy. They never looked into if I was maybe allergic to metal, or I read now there's an EMF like sensitivity, but I truly believe something was going on because I started hearing this like really high pitched, and this goes a lot deeper now. My doctors have told me to shut up about it, but anyway, my teeth fell out. People say I have nice teeth, and I don't know how to explain to them. They're all gone. I would drink water, and it would just slide out. The whole thing, the whole root would slide out. Like, if you look, I can't really see. I'm using a crappy phone right now. My teeth look good, right? They're all gone. So embarrassing. They're all gone. And I had all these sores, and I've documented them. And I felt static like coming out of my body, like out of my head, out of my pores, and like attaching to everything around me. I feel like little bugs in my ears, like little like pieces of particles and dust like stick to me with the cat hair, and if I like pulled them off, I started having dreams that told me to build things, and I didn't believe it. So to prove I was crazy, I did build what they told me in the dreams, and it worked. And this is after my psychosis. I started really paying attention to different hums I would hear, and it sounded like something was uploading or downloading information into my body. And the scariest part is, before I went to the hospital because I literally called the hospital and said, fix whatever you did to me when I gave birth. I went to take a shower finally. I was putting like butter on the walls, like lemon. Anyway, I went to jump in the shower, and right before I was so scared, I went to jump in the shower. I heard like a walkie-talkie turn on, and it said, she's going in the shower, she's going in the shower. And I jumped out, and I looked around and ran to my bedroom, because it came to my bedroom. I could hear like some man on a walkie-talkie, and I looked around, but there was no one in my bedroom. And then I sat in my bedroom and I prayed, and this is when I was smoking. I feel like it has something to do with the polonium or something. They're doing some testing on people with cigarettes, because I did notice that the mental health people, like, were all mostly smokers. I felt like they were saying things in my brain. I'm right across from a storage company, and this all started happening when I was living in this, when I moved into the place that I am now. And there's a Bluebird storage across from me, and every time they fix my lights now, like when I'm not in psychosis, they fix those lights, and there's all this like all these people always outside. It just seems so weird, like electricians and stuff. Anyway, like I felt like I could protect myself if I started it says it's legal in Ontario. I started a charcoal little grill on my to create smoke. I felt like it took the electricity out of the air. And I saw Bluebird across the street, and they were making all these calls, and they were staring, and more people came in like the Bluebird storage with these like outfits on. And then my landlord came to my balcony, and came to my unit and told me that we're not allowed charcoal grills. She even offered me her electric grill, and I secretly did it because I thought it was protecting me from I don't know, with these frequencies, this electricity. When I was in St. Joseph's Hospital, I started looking around because they forced me there when I called, and I said that I could feel shocks by metal. um, I took some of the metal, and it was sparkles too. There were sparkles that hurt me. Weird things, sparkles, like stickers weirdly placed that were like sparkles and metal. And I took the metal and I brought it into St. Joseph's to see what they said. And there is a guy working there. There's a forensics department in the St. Joseph's Hospital. And the nurse said to me, "Jessica, you brought that in?" And I said, "Yeah, so what? Like, I want it, because you have lockers." And he said, "That could be the forensics metal they're doing testing on." And this other girl, her name was Brittany, she said, "Scott." And he said, "Great, I'm gonna be fired." And I told them that, like, there were these, I explained in my psychosis, I saw like these bugs out of the corner of my eyes, like flying, like zip, or like the staticky, like kind of wavies. But if I looked at it, it would go away, like it would turn differently if I go away. And this weird strategically placed like dust that they want to inhale in my home to test on me through this like dust. And it didn't help that Scott in the hospital, told me that they're doing testing on metal when I'm in there for metal. And it didn't help me. There was a nurse, his name was Manny, he was an engineer, he told me, which doesn't make sense, and he was only there when I was there. When I left, he doesn't work there anymore. I tried to find him. When I was leaving, I laughed and I said to him, "Could you believe I thought there were these like electric worms?" I called them worms because the electricity would, like the static would come out of my pores, so it looked really skinny, like worms, and like attached to things. And I tried to like laugh about it, and he said to me, "Well, Jessica, there are electric eels, so you never know." And I'm like, these are the people that are supposed to be helping me. I should do another video so people pay attention, but I'm letting you know right now, I have a feeling that we're all awakening. Everyone's saying they're awakening, like having this awakening. It's not us. There's the universe and there's us that have this magical awakening. And then there's this second technology and third technology that's trying to copy, I'll just say, the universe. And they're making us have this awakening. They're forcing us to have this awakening, and I'm saying it's mental health. They're literally forcing us to have this awakening because we have like this dust metal in our body, and it's not the universe anymore. It doesn't apply anymore. It's not the universe getting information anymore and us sharing information with the universe and the universe giving information to us. It's human technology that's giving us an awakening and taking our knowledge from us. The center of my forehead is indenting. Besides my teeth, they're always really hurt right here in the center of my forehead. And it's indented a little, like if you feel it goes in right here. And I noticed, and it sounds really crazy, that specifically when I was smoking, when there was like electricity or my phone or wheelchairs, and I looked at the color red outside, it would hurt. So be careful with red and electricity. There's also hair, and this electricity is going through like our orifices. They are testing on us through dust, through electricity, through sparkles, through cigarettes. And we are being awoken, not out of something spiritual. It's because technology and humans are making us be awoken, and I want someone to prove me wrong. This is just part of what I think and part of what I know. And what I know is St. Joseph's told me they were testing on metal. They took my phone to see everything I had. My teeth just slid out, and you can tell I take good care of them. They just slid out. And to this day, I live in this apartment, and this frequency still happens, and it really hurts my teeth. And they took my daughter away from me, and they told, the clinician told me it's to protect her because they decided to test on me. He didn't say those exact words, I'm sorry, I should be. He said they took her away from me not because of me, it's because of, they decided they were going to do something to me, something like that. Honestly, I forget. And the thing is, doctors and nurses, they talk to you because you're literally labeled crazy, so no one believes you anyway. And you know all these things, and you know, I appear like kind of ditzy. I appear, I used to be really confident, but now I'm not, and nobody would listen to me, and they made it so I'm scared. Like, they took everything away from me. Like, I am in this jail. It's almost like, you know, the same people around me when I do something bad or talk about these things that I shouldn't talk about, use the same terms, use the same wording, use the same, dress the same way, have the same hairstyle. It's like their thoughts when it's uploading or downloading, like, it literally sounds like a modem if you pay attention to the hum, if you start paying attention to it, like the old school modems. It's like they put you in this jail, and all of a sudden they can, like, we are vessels they channel through our body. They test on us, and they can make us act a certain way by going through the orifices of our body, and they're testing on us. And please be careful. Our enlightenment isn't an awakening. It's because they're making us be an awoke, and then they're watching us and studying us about what's happening. And I need help from me and my daughter. And I'll be happy again. I'm just going through these emotions right now while I talk, because I've made hundreds of videos documenting everything. I haven't posted anything because I've literally been threatened. But I want people to know their awakening's not real.